is even the organization of the transport at the airport. So much is involved in bringing all this together. When I phoned Father Philip and asked him, do you think the province would be available? His answer was spontaneously yes, subject to the consent of his council. So we're really grateful to you, because it has made a dream come true. Many congregations are still struggling to find a venue for their chapter. So thank you, and we show our appreciation. So my role this evening, thankfully, is quite short and quite simple. I would refer you to page 61 in the 3 languages of this booklet, Information, 61. So as you can see, the proposed chapter process and rules of procedure. During the first session, the first responsibility, our responsibility as a General Council, is to verify the legal status both of the gathering and of each member. Now, the chapter was convened in accordance with SRL 216 by the Superior General with the consent of his council for Bagamoyo here to take place from October 3rd to 24th of 2021. And this information, which was requested, was conveyed to the Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life. They asked to be informed when the new dates were set. So therefore, we can take this chapter itself, the gathering, as the legal status of it as being verified. I note that the chapter has been reduced to 3 weeks. Normally, in the past, for many chapters, it has been a 4-week event. And those of you who were at previous chapters, and some of you are here, will realize that completing the chapter in 4 weeks, particularly during the last week, was quite a challenge. So it's a greater challenge in the sense to do so and to achieve our goals in the space of 3 weeks, which was generally the view of many people around the world, that because of the pandemic and so on, a shorter chapter would be more appropriate. So you'll see that in due course. The procedures themselves and the timetable, the overall program, have been reshaped to suit that 3-year program, or 3-week program. But it also will depend on us. I mean, this is going to demand collective and individual discipline, that we try to keep to the timetable, both the daily timetable and the overall timetable, if we are really to achieve what we have been entrusted with by the rule of life. We'll come back to that particular aspect on Tuesday when I introduce our report. Because we carry the hopes and the dreams of many people here. We're gathered here in Bagamoyo. We carry the hopes and the dreams of the professed members and the Spirit and Lay associates around the world. But not only of them, our brothers and sisters in the Spirit and family, but we carry the hopes and the dreams of many people whom we are privileged to serve, many local churches. All of that we bring here to Bagamoyo, to our gathering. So the next step is to verify the legal status of the members of the chapter. Each one of you was elected according to the procedure foreseen in the rule of life. Let me say first of all that regrettably 2 delegates will not be with us. The first one, unfortunately, is a member of the General Council itself, which is very regrettable, Marc Tiron. As you know, at the beginning of the pandemic, Marc, as a doctor, returned to France to take up some medical duties as part of Médecins du Monde, the organization to which he belonged, and he worked initially with people very much on the margins of the healthcare system in France at the time. But as the situation evolved and the chapter began to be postponed and so on, Marc eventually took on the situation himself, working in a hospital, in an emergency department of a hospital. So, and he found himself, when the chapter was called, although we didn't realize this until September, that he wouldn't be able to get 3 weeks off. He's part of a team there. He wouldn't be able to get 3 weeks off to attend the chapter. So it really is regrettable that Marc cannot be with us. Then the second person is Jean-Marc Bertrand from Algeria. I received an email from either last night or this morning, really, confirming that he will not be with us, and that there is no, because the group was so small, they didn't envisage a substitute when he was elected. His letter said that he has been in France since the month of June for the French chapter, and he has spent the rest of the time trying to get back to Algeria. He said 6 occasions his flight was cancelled, and the latest date is today, October the 3rd. So his judgment was that if he didn't avail of this opportunity to return and came to the chapter, this was his own decision, that he would run the risk of returning to France for several more weeks or maybe months before he could get back to Algeria again. So he asks for our understanding and asks and assures us of the support of his prayers. There are a number of delegates who have not yet arrived for different reasons. We know that the 3 delegates coming from Latin America, South America, actually, I'm not sure how, but they missed their flight. So they're trying to reorganize so that they may, if all goes well, arrive during the night. Madagascar, the delegate is from Madagascar, also Fulgence Theodore. He found himself in a very difficult position because the only airline going in and out of Madagascar is Air France. So in order to come here, he has had to return to France and then come through Senegal. But he will be here, I think, on Tuesday, as far as I know. Father Maximile, also from Mauritius, is delayed because I think of a local ordination, and he, as far as I know, will be here on Tuesday. And Father Frederick Alaka from Guyane, he is also, we just got a message there that he was delayed en route. But otherwise, everybody is here. In order to verify the legal status officially of each member of the chapter, I will read out the names as they appear on the list, and if you don't mind, just maybe standing and saying present. Okay? So it's a technicality, but it's a necessary technicality. So, Bede Ukwije, Alan Mayama, Joseph Shio, Jean-Marc Sierro, Kieran Alaribe, Benjamin Abba, Paul Ahiaba, James Akpayan, James? No. Okay, he is in the vicinity. I saw him myself, so he's here. Carmelo Amesquita. Raymond Anyanwu. Reynold Arisme. Albert Ndongo Asamba. Mark Botsung. Joaquin Brito Rice. Moise Camara. Ide Delange. Jeffrey Duane. Mariano Espinosa. Pedro Fernandez. Brendan Foley. No. He also is nearby. Francis Foley. Damiano Gabriel. Patrice Gasser. Dominic Gaturito. Michael Gomez. Innocent Izunwane. John Kamoga. Paul Karim. Augustin Kosongo Milamba. Martin Kelly. Blaise Kongomachi. Michael Liston. Pierre Madiela. Michael Moronga. Philip Massawe. Crispin Mumba Kawanga. Ron Mendes. Rogation Insami. John Baptist Mugara. Marek Mislinski. Guy Leandre Nakavua. Remedios Ndubuisi. Toussaint Ngoma Fumane. Toussaint? Not yet. Juste Used Nyongi. Canis Njoku.
Present.
Barnabas Obina Nwabo.
Present.
Severin Ziengi. Sean O'Leary.
Present.
Kenneth Okoli. Gregory Olikeni.
Present.
Theodore Rabalaza. No, not yet. Jean-Luc Ramarolai. Philibert Paga.
Present.
Christian Roberti.
Present.
Jean-François Salomon.
Present.
I don't think Gaudencio has arrived, has he? Gaudencio Sangano? No, not yet. Some, I think, may be arriving this evening. Ignacio is not here. Damian Sumungala. Eduardo Chapaseca.
Present.
Alberto Chindemba. Bonaventure Ugu. Marcel Uzuigu.
Present.
Peter Machu.
Present.
Mark Whelan.
Present.
Daniel Oseyeboa.
Present.
We also have 4 invited lay Spiritan associates. Louis Alexandre Babisekana. Marielle Boismans. Anne-Marie Hansen. And Marie-Jeanne Minnesson. So we have well in excess of the 2/3 delegates required anyway for the validity of any session. Rule of life requires the 2/3, but there's certainly a lot more than that here. So the next point on the agenda is to propose the 2 youngest capitulants to act as tellers, to check and to count the votes. Now that's not age discrimination really. It really, as you will see, those who count votes need to be both mentally and physically agile. So youth is an advantage in that regard. So I think those that were originally designated, I'm not sure that we have everybody. Just hold on for a moment. I think the originals were Damiano, Gabriel. Damiano, not here yet. Not yet. And the other was, I have it just a second here. The other one was Marcio from Bolivia, but he's not here either. So the next lucky people are Michael Moronga, who is here, Michael, and Jean-Baptiste Fogarty. If the Assembly approves you, will you accept this onerous task?
I will.
And Michael, you accept? Yes, okay. So I think we can take the clapping as an indication of it. So the idea of getting the tellers first is that the next vote technically does have to be counted, you know. So the next job is to propose the 3 moderators for the chapter. So Jude Norum, perhaps we just one by one then. As you see, that they're elected on the first ballot by an absolute majority of the valid vote. So the tellers have their first job, at least to look around and see. Could I have a show of hands for those who accept Jude as the moderator? Please put up here, yes. I think that's looks like to me pretty unanimous. Okay. The second proposed moderator is Henri Fouda. Henri, you know who Henri is? Yes. So could we have a show of hands as well, please, for that? Again, it's unanimous. Fouda. And the third proposed moderator is Eduardo Miranda. Eduardo is there, you know him. So could we have a show of hands? Thank you very, very much. So just the last item for me to do before I hand over to the moderators is to propose the chapter secretary and assistant secretary. So the chapter secretary, who has already been hard at work, is Philip Ngoja, Dean Philip. So could we have a show of hands for Philip Ngoja? Everybody's putting up their hands? So, okay. And then Mathieu Boulanger as the assistant. Is there, assistant. Okay, so approved. So we thank them for taking his responsibilities on behalf of the group. So I'm now very happy to hand over to them.
Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve. A te clamamus, exules filii Eve, a te suspiramus, demente Christus